I just heard a really low flying bird and like the wings flapping. There were 3 bald eagles flying overhead. It was freaking sweet, but I don't know where they went. What's up guys, welcome back to Horsepower and Pizza. Today's plan is to finish up the free Jetta before the road trip that we leave on a week from the time you're seeing this. I have all of my parts now. I got new calipers the whole way around. I have the new axle nuts, which I need to make sure they are the right ones. They look the same, but they're, I don't know, we have some issues with getting parts sometimes. I also have the new downpipe and cat, as well as the O2 sensors that go with that. But if you look back to last week's video, I did break off 2 studs getting the old exhaust out, so I need to get up underneath and drill those out now. If you look up in here, I have vice grips on one of the nuts that I tried to weld to the studs, but every time I weld the nuts to the studs, they just kind of break off. I can't get a good penetration on that weld. So the game plan is to drill those 2 studs out so I can either re-tap the holes and put bolts in, or just run a nut and bolt combo so we have the slightest exhaust leak possible. If you guys know me, you know that I love my Milwaukee fuel tools. You know that I love my pack out, the M12 fuel 1/2 inch hammer drill. I swear by this thing. I use it all the time for work. This is the first time I've used it on one of my own cars. I got this Irwin left-handed bit. If you look at the lower right stud, I actually used a die grinder to cut the nut that I had welded to it off of it. Then I put a hole in it with the left-handed bit. Left-handed bits tend to help work stuck bolts free. So I also bought this Easy Out and the tap handle to hold that, so now we're gonna give that a shot. So update on that, even with heat, this didn't want to move it, so I'm just going to continue to drill holes in the bolt, open them up, and maybe we'll get it out, maybe we won't, maybe we'll just put a nut and a bolt combo on there. Not really sure, but stay tuned. I drilled a big enough hole in this stud that I can get a 6mm bolt through that, so I'm going to use a bolt and a nut on the back side of it to make sure that it doesn't leak there. I still need to do a little bit more work up here so I can get a hole through to do the same thing. I just re-tapped both of these holes, and yeah, I put masking tape on there so no sparks or chips or anything get up into the exhaust and into the engine. And when I put heat on this, I caught that on fire. So we're okay, but a little bit more work, feeling fairly confident now. I did grind this part flush, so we'll be okay once the gasket's on there. There were a lot of people that were less than enthused that I chose to make Carhartt hats last summer. There's still a few of them on the website, but this is how Carhartt is intended to look. Not any of your yuppie, let's go to the mall, let's go to dinner, let's go to the bar, and wear this as a fashion statement. This stuff is made to work. It's dirty, but there's no rips or holes. I've welded in this. I've crawled all over everywhere with this hat, and still in great shape, minus a little bit of dirt. So go get yourself one. Okay, so I ground both of the broken studs flat. I drilled a hole in the lower right one, and it's about dead center. The other one's not as centered, unfortunately, but that's okay. They are drilled out large enough that I can get M6 bolts through them, and that's gonna have to be good enough. So now I'm gonna put the gasket and the bolts and everything together and go from there. Before I put the gasket and the downpipe back to the cat up into the car, I wanna put the pre-cat O2 sensor in there. Now, if you're stupid like me and you threw out your order form with your part numbers on it, the way you're going to be able to tell the difference is your pre-cat has the longer lead, because all of my other cars, the O2 sensors plug in over here somewhere because they're BMWs. On this Volkswagen, they actually plug into this convenient little box, and then that gets screwed to the bottom of the car. But the pre-cat is the longer of the two. Once again, with me being the only one here, it's kind of hard for me to film everything that's going on. But I'll show you what I got done so far this afternoon. I got the new downpipe and cat in. I reused the old clamp back here. I just put new hardware in it. There's a new O2 sensor here, as well as up there past the flange. The hardware on the flange, don't mind that. The hardest part was you had to take out this heat shield above the steering rack to get everything in here, so it did beat that up a little bit. New gasket. I haven't started it yet, so let's do that together. Fingers crossed. There is is one thing I forgot to do, and I realize that now. There is a third threaded bung right here for a third O2 sensor, and I need to put a plug in that. But other than that, the exhaust is coming out of where it's supposed to come out of. I didn't put the rear calipers on yet, and I hit the brakes, so yeah, we're leaking a little bit of brake fluid now, but that's easily fixed. Because O2 sensors are pretty much universal thread, I had a plug for that third threaded bung at my house, and Reckless Ron brought it over here. So when I start the car now, it's a lot quieter than the last clip. You will notice. Oh, stop crying. And it actually sounds normal. We like that. So now I'm in the middle of changing the front calipers. Need to look into the rears. I didn't take those apart, but I'm sure I can figure it out. I got the front calipers and pads on both sides because I didn't take the rears apart and Booker did. Booker's busy right now, but he and I are going to sort that out some night this week, and then we will bleed all of them. Booker will align the car, I will get it inspected, and I will take it to Pittsburgh next weekend. So I will check in when Booker and I do that. How close are we to being done, Booker?
Real close. Like real close. This goes on the car.
Booker's doing the rear brakes because I didn't have anything to do with that. But look what we got. We got ourselves a license plate, which means it's registered, and it's got insurance.
That's not necessary.
No, it really isn't. Insurance is a scam.
The registration, that might help. If you get one. Which you're not going to, because everything we do here is legal.
So with the addition of this to my policy, my insurance bill went up a whole $15 a month. So I'd say that's pretty good for a free car. Once Booker gets these rear calipers on here, we're gonna bleed the brakes and we're gonna put her down off the jack stands. We're gonna take it to Sheetz because it's road legal now. We can do that.
Well, I wouldn't say fully road legal.
I mean, it needs inspected, but like that's a state tax as far as I'm concerned, and taxation is theft. Yes, Booker, why would the wiper blades be on the front seat of the Subaru?
I don't know.
Kerchow, there they are.
Pretty stupid idea, I don't lie. But
Hey, don't break those. This car is expensive.
bite me. Give her the old.
Give her the good old wombo combo. Oh, yo, there was a spider in that, but it was dead. Or at least it's dead now. Never mind. Now this fluid sucker is Booker's baby girl.
She does wonders.
My dumbass hit the brakes when I started this yesterday after I got the exhaust on it, forgetting the rear calipers were on it. So now we're working on getting all of the air out of the rear lines. How many times?
5.
I helped Booker bleed the brakes, and by helped, I mean I sat in the driver's seat and pumped the brake pedal. We have good pedal feel. Put the old junk wheels back on it because we did some front suspension parts and alignment parts and stuff like that. And Booker is going to align the car for me tomorrow. So before we put the new tires on it, we want to drive it on these, and we'll put it on those right before it gets aligned. He will put it on those right before it gets aligned. We are going to take this around the block a couple times.
Bailey's gonna take this around the block. Andrew's gonna walk from a safe distance.
That's fair.
By Andrew, I mean Booker.
Yeah, who's Andrew? We should sell shirts that say who's Andrew. But I'm going to take it around the block a couple times, and as long as nothing breaks and nobody dies, we're gonna take it to Sheetz. It's going to be so weird to drive this car legally.
Oh, speaking of which, you should probably put your plate on.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I already put the plate on.
What the hell?
We're good.
I missed it?
Yeah, you were putting the calipers on. I was doing some productive things while you were doing the brakes.
Andrew, lay on the floor in some piles of shit while I did the cool shit.
Yep, something like that. All right, boys, safety third.
Just so you can hear me.
We out here. Start of the We Out Here tour.
I thought you said you put the plate on.
I did, that's the one that came off of it. It's out of the garage, it's right there. Baker's cleaning up and we're going to Sheetz.
Stop smoking.
Yeah, it did stop smoking. We didn't even tell them it was smoking.
Oh, it was smoking.
We put the new exhaust on it and I left all the stickers on it, so it was burning all the stickers off of the exhaust, but we Gucci. How bad's the defroster, Booker?
Terrible. Freaking terrible. Is this thing smoking?
It's still smoking the stickers off of the exhaust. Oh God. How we doing? Where are we?
We're at Sheetz. It's fantastic. Look at this defroster.
Successful Sheetz run.
Yeah,
Baker's
some dickhead walked across the hood.
Might have been me. Booker is going to take this to work with him tomorrow and align it. We're just gonna end the video here. I'll get it inspected, and then the next video after this will be released the day that we leave for the We Out Here tour. I'm driving this to Pittsburgh this weekend, so you'll get to see the maiden voyage. If you want to support, head over to horsepowerandpizza.com, @horsepowerpizza on every single platform imaginable. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Peace out. Build it for you.